Signal at the edge. The Imperial battleship Resolute Dawn drifted through the quiet dark of deep space. Its hull gleamed with faint silver light from distant stars, silent and still, against the endless black. Inside, 1,000 crew members went about their routines. Maintenance checks, system scans, night rotations. It was just another calm shift at the edge of known space. Then, everything changed. In the sensor control room, operator Lyra Voss stared at her screen. At first, it was nothing, just the usual static hum of deep space interference. But then a single bright pulse appeared on her monitor. It wasn't supposed to be there, she frowned. "Command," she said softly into her headset. "I'm getting a strange reading on long-range sensors. Could be a ghost signal." The voice of her shift supervisor, Lieutenant Carell, came through the line. "Probably just another cosmic ray hit. Log it and reset the scan." Lyra nodded, typing in the command sequence. But the blip didn't vanish. It grew stronger, her pulse quickened. She rechecked the data, ran the signal through filters, cross-referenced sensor arrays. Everything said the same thing. There was something out there moving fast. "Sir," she whispered again, "the contact's still there, and it's accelerating." There was a pause on the other end. "How fast?" Lyra swallowed. 0.94C, the line went silent. For a long moment, no one said anything. Then Carell's voice came back tight and cold. "That's impossible. Nothing moves that fast, not outside a jump corridor," but the numbers didn't lie. The object was coming straight toward human space, an unknown vessel with no transponder, no ID, and no data trail. Lyra felt the air around her shift as more officers crowded into the control room. The captain himself, Captain Deren Holt, appeared behind her. His uniform was crisp, his expression unreadable. "Show me," he said. She expanded the data on the main holo display. The signal blinked faintly, streaking across the system's edge like a ghost. No mass reading, no heat signature. Just motion. Captain Holt leaned forward. "Run a full diagnostic. Could be sensor interference from a coronal flare." Lyra shook her head. "Already checked. Sensors are clean. Whatever that is, it's real." The captain's jaw tightened. He turned to his comms officer. "Send word to Fleet Command. Mark this as an unidentified vessel. High-velocity approach." The message was sent. Minutes passed. The signal disappeared. Every system cleared as if nothing had happened. The captain let out a slow breath. "False alarm," he said. "Record it and stand down." Lyra wanted to believe it. Everyone did. But deep down, she knew the signal wasn't done. And she was right. Exactly 6 minutes later, the console lights flared red. The signal was back, stronger, faster, closer. Alarms blared across the ship. "Contact reappeared," Lyra shouted. Distance 2.3 light minutes. Velocity unchanged. The ship's AI confirmed it. The object was still traveling at 0.94 times the speed of light, directly toward the Empire's frontier colonies. Communications, alert the colonies on Vector 7-2. The captain ordered. "Evacuate if necessary." "Trying, sir." The comms officer yelled. "Channels are..." He froze. "Gone. All outbound comms just cut out." A sick silence filled the bridge. Every nearby relay went dark, one after another. First the colonies, then the listening stations, then the military relays. It was like a curtain of silence spreading outward. Captain Holt's voice was steady, but his eyes were hard. "Internal network only. Seal external channels." "Prepare battle alert." Across the ship, klaxons screamed. Crew ran to stations, magnetic boots thudding against the decks. In the hangar, pilots scrambled into fighters. Engineering lit up with plasma reactor surges. Still, the object came closer. Lyra's monitor flickered, distorting the image. Static lines danced across the display, forming strange repeating patterns, almost like symbols. She blinked, and they vanished. Then the signal stopped, not slowed. Not faded, stopped. From faster than light to zero in less than a heartbeat. Confirm that. The captain demanded. Lyra's voice trembled. "Confirmed, sir. It's just stopped. Holding position exactly 40,000 kilometers off our bow." No one spoke. The only sound was the hum of the ship's engines and the pounding of hearts. The captain stepped toward the main viewport. Outside, there was only darkness. No stars, no light. Just a single faint distortion in the void, like something was bending space itself. "Can we get visuals?" he asked. "Trying," said Lyra. The feed came online, a swirling patch of black, a shadow that swallowed light itself. The void within the void. Whatever it was watching them. The captain straightened, voice firm but quiet. "All ships in the sector, this is Captain Holt of the Resolute Dawn. We are initiating full fleet alert. Unknown vessel has arrived in Imperial space. Repeat, full fleet alert." Across the system, warning sirens echoed from orbiting stations to colony bunkers. The Empire had faced pirates, rebels, even alien scavengers, but never something like this. As the message went out, the unknown object pulsed once, just once. A ripple of energy spread through the void, brushing past the ship like a cold wind that wasn't there. Lyra's console went dark. Every screen shut off at once. The lights flickered, then a single word appeared on her monitor in pale, flickering text, "Hello." Her blood ran cold. The Resolute Dawn floated in perfect stillness. No alarms, no movement, no sound, except for the low, nervous hum of power systems idling in standby. Every crew member felt it. The air was heavy, like the ship itself was holding its breath. The mysterious vessel still hung out there in the dark, 40,000 kilometers away. It hadn't moved since it stopped. It hadn't answered any hails. It just waited. Inside the command deck, Captain Deren Holt stood before the wide viewport. Beyond it, the stars looked dimmer than usual, as if the unknown ship was drinking their light. "Report," he said quietly. Lieutenant Carell, his second in command, read from his datapad. "No change in position or emissions, sir. We've got all scanners on full. Nothing, no heat, no radiation, no comms." The captain frowned. "No life signs?" "None. It's like the ship doesn't exist." At the sensor console, operator Lyra Voss checked her systems for the 100th time. Everything was working. Everything was normal. Except for the part that wasn't. The unknown vessel was still there, silent, invisible to every form of scan, but its presence pressed against her mind like static. "Captain," she said slowly, "I think it's scanning us." The bridge went quiet. "Explain," Holt said. Lyra hesitated. "I don't know how I know. It's not a signal, more like pressure. Every time I focus on it, I get interference in the shortwave bands, and my console lights dim by 0.5%. Like it's pushing back." The captain turned to the communications officer. "Try visual range again." The officer nodded. "Aye, sir." The main holo display flickered to life, showing the space ahead. The stars were crisp, the void clear. And then the black shape appeared. It wasn't a ship, not really. It was a hole, a patch of absence surrounded by faint distortion. No lights, no edges, just darkness that refused to reflect. Even the ship's AI struggled to render it, blurring the outline, as if it couldn't decide what it was seeing. The crew stared. No one spoke. "Launch a recon drone," Holt ordered at last. Minutes later, a small, triangular drone shot out from the Resolute Dawn's launch bay. It moved fast, thrusters flaring, its onboard cameras streaming real-time visuals to the bridge. For a moment, everything looked normal. The feed showed empty space, faint radiation trails from the Dawn's engines. Then, the black shape filled the frame. The drone sent a burst of telemetry, a clean data stream, and then static. "The feed died. Drone's gone," said Carell quietly. "Destroyed." Lyra shook her head. "No debris. No explosion. It just vanished." The silence stretched. "Send another one," Holt said. 3 more drones launched. All 3 disappeared in the same way. Perfect signal 1 second, nothing the next. Then, for the briefest instant, one of the feeds flickered back online. The image was blurry, distorted, but clear enough to make out a shape. It wasn't a vessel. It was something alive, a vast, organic structure pulsing faintly like a heartbeat, its surface shifting as if it were made of liquid metal. Then the feed cut off completely. Lyra's hands trembled. "Captain, whatever that thing is, it's not built. It's grown." The captain's jaw tightened. "All right. We go to full red alert. Bring the fleet online. I want the Resolute Dawn ready for immediate withdrawal." Across the decks, warning lights flashed crimson. Crew strapped into seats. Weapon systems powered up, shields came online, and engine cores began to hum louder. Still, the black vessel didn't move. It just stayed there, watching, waiting. Hours passed. Then something new happened. The communications deck lit up, every single channel suddenly alive with whispers. "Sir, I'm picking up a signal," shouted the comms officer. "Put it through," said Holt, static. Then faint, broken voices filled the bridge speakers. Dozens of voices, all human, all speaking in different tones. Some weeping, some whispering, and then one voice rose clearly above the rest. It was male, calm, familiar. "Lyra," it said. Her blood ran cold. "That was her name. Who is this?" she stammered. The voice paused, then repeated, "Lyra, don't let them see you," and the line went dead. Lyra turned to the captain. "Sir, that was impossible." The voice... Captain Holt raised a hand. His expression was grim. "Lockdown communications. No more transmissions. Sir, what if they're trying to talk?" "They had their chance," he said. "Until we know what that thing is, we treat it as hostile." But before anyone could respond, the lights flickered again. Every system dimmed at once, and then came the sound, a deep resonating hum that wasn't from their ship, so low it made the walls vibrate. The hull of the Resolute Dawn groaned under invisible pressure. On Lyra's console, the unknown vessel's signal spiked again, then split into three, as if three identical readings now surrounded them. "Captain!" she cried. "It's multiplying." Holt looked out through the viewport. The stars shimmered strangely. Space itself seemed to fold. "Navigation," he barked. "Get us out of here!" The engines roared, but the ship didn't move. Space refused to let them go, and then the whisper returned, this time across every speaker on the ship. "You found us." The Resolute Dawn hung motionless in the void. Its engines were active. Power was flowing, but it could not move. The unknown vessel, or whatever it truly was, had trapped them in a bubble of silence and shadow. No stars twinkled. No signals escaped. Even light itself seemed to bend and fade around them. Captain Deren Holt stood at the center of the bridge, his jaw tight, his eyes locked on the dark expanse ahead. "Report," he ordered quietly. "Engines are fine," said Lieutenant Carell, scanning his console. "But space-time distortion is off the charts." "We're not moving, sir, because there's nowhere to move to." "Explain," Holt said. Carell exhaled slowly. "We're inside some kind of pocket. It's not hyperspace, not subspace. It's something else. The ship's coordinates are looping. Every time we try to move forward, we end up back in the same position. Like a cage," said Lyra Voss, her voice low. "Exactly," Carell replied. The captain nodded grimly. "All right. Then we find a way to break the cage." They tried everything. Jump drives, warp burns, manual propulsion. Nothing worked. The unknown vessel or creature remained where it was, a patch of perfect darkness against the void. Hours passed. Crew members grew restless. Voices were whispered in the corridors. Some swore they heard tapping sounds in the hull, like something walking along the outer surface of the ship. At first, Captain Holt dismissed it as nerves. But then, the reports started piling up, crew hearing whispers in the dark. Shadows moving in unlit sections of the ship. Systems showing ghost readings. Human life signs in sealed, empty rooms. Lyra tried to focus on her work, but the whispering in her earpiece was getting louder. She shut off her comms. The whispers stayed. Then came the data anomaly. The ship's AI, Argus, reported a faint repeating signal embedded in the background radiation. It was subtle, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Lyra ran the signal through multiple filters. What she found made her stomach drop. "Captain," she said, "the frequency pattern. It's biological." He turned toward her. "What kind of biological?" "Human." The bridge went silent. Every officer stared at her. "That's impossible," said Carell. "There's no human life outside the fleet." Lyra didn't answer. She just replayed the signal. Through the static came a faint pulse, almost like a voice buried deep beneath the noise. "Help! Me!" Then silence. Captain Holt clenched his fists. "Could it be a recording?" Lyra shook her head. "No, sir. The transmission is live. They tracked the source. It was coming directly from the unknown vessel." Holt stepped forward. "Comms, open a secure channel." The officer hesitated. "Sir, we don't know what—" "Do it," Holt said. The comms array buzzed to life. For a long moment there was only static. Then a voice came through, clear, soft, human. It was a woman's voice. "We see you." The captain's heart pounded. "Identify yourself." No answer. Just faint breathing, like someone was standing right beside the microphone. Then the voice whispered, "You came back." The line cut off. "Could it be a trick?" Carell asked. "Of course it's a trick," Holt snapped. "But it's using human speech patterns." "That means intelligence," Lyra frowned. "Not just intelligence, familiarity. It knew how to speak our language." "Perhaps it learned from our transmissions," said Carell. "Or perhaps," Lyra whispered, "it remembers us." That night cycle, the Resolute Dawn dimmed its lights to conserve power. Most of the crew slept uneasily. Lyra stayed at her station, staring at the signal feed. The biological frequency kept changing, like a heartbeat speeding up, then slowing down. She amplified the wave pattern and froze. The pattern wasn't random. It matched human DNA, not just human DNA, hers. Her name, her ID code, everything in the ship's genetic database matched the sequence coming from the unknown vessel. She felt cold. "Captain," she whispered over the comms, "I think it knows who I am." Before he could answer, the ship's lighting flickered. The hum of the engines faltered. Then every monitor went black, replaced by a single image, a human silhouette, floating in darkness, and then words appeared on the main screen. "We are your echo," the ship's alarm screamed. "Power down systems." Holt shouted, "Argus, cut the link!" The AI responded flatly, unable to comply. External override detected. The voice came again, through every speaker, soft, calm, almost kind. "You built the cage to protect yourselves, but you forgot why." Then the image changed. The silhouette split into dozens, hundreds of figures, all drifting in a spiral of light. They looked human. Every one of them. The bridge crew stared in horror. "Captain," Lyra whispered, "those are us." The image zoomed in, faces identical to the crew of the Resolute Dawn, suspended in some kind of dark field. "Argus," Holt said. "Shut it down." "Cannot comply," said the AI. Signal source integrated with primary, and in that darkness, the whispers began again. Hundreds of voices, all human, all speaking at once. We remember. Darkness, for what felt like hours. The Resolute Dawn drifted in absolute black. No lights, no sound, no stars. Then, all at once, the stars blinked. Every light in the sector went out for exactly 7 seconds. 7 long, terrifying seconds, where space itself seemed to stop breathing. And when the lights returned, something was different. Captain Deren Holt stood rigid on the bridge, eyes locked on the main display. The unknown vessel still floated in the same place, but now, faint lines of white light traced across its surface, like veins glowing under black glass. "Power's coming back online," reported Lieutenant Carroll, though his voice trembled. "Engines are stable, but external readings are off the charts." "How bad?" Holt asked. Carroll stared at the numbers. "Sir, it's like every star within 50 light-years just pulsed in unison." "I've never seen anything like it." Operator Lyra Voss leaned forward, staring at her sensor feed. "The object is moving again. Slow, deliberate, heading toward us." Holt's voice was calm, but his chest tightened. "All ships in the sector, prepare for contact." The Resolute Dawn's message relays lit up instantly. Fleets across the frontier came online, hundreds of ships forming a defensive grid. The Empire's frontier forces, battle cruisers, interceptors, drones, all converged on the unknown vessel's position, but the darkness followed them. As the fleets arrived, their systems flickered, sensors distorted, and visual feeds blurred with strange symbols. "What's happening to our optics?" Holt demanded. "Unknown interference, sir," replied Lyra. "It's rewriting the feed before we even receive it." Outside, space shimmered. The unknown vessel began releasing thousands of small metallic spheres, each one glowing faintly blue. They spread in a perfect formation, 3-dimensional patterns swirling around the Empire ships like a halo. "Drones?" Carroll asked. "Not ours," Holt said. "Keep scanning. The spheres stop moving." Then they emitted a soft, ultraviolet glow, forming massive geometric shapes that pulsed with rhythm, like a heartbeat written in light. "What are they doing?" Lyra whispered. The AI, Argus, answered in a voice that now sounded tired, attempting communication. "The symbols correspond to no known mathematical or linguistic structure. But the pattern repeats. Project it on screen," Holt ordered, the main holodisplay filled with the glowing symbols. They flickered and shifted, circles, triangles, branching fractals, repeating in loops. Then suddenly, the pattern rearranged into something unmistakable. Words, in clean human letters. "We built you." The bridge fell silent. No one moved. Carol's throat went dry. "That's not possible." Holt cut him off. Argus, confirm visual integrity. "Could this be a projection?" "Negative," said the AI. "Pattern verified. Message authenticated through direct energy modulation. They are speaking to us." "Translate the remaining data," Holt said, attempting. Argus paused. "Captain, there's a secondary signal embedded in the light pattern. It's not a language, it's genetic." Lyra's eyes widened. "Genetic? You mean DNA?" "Yes," said Argus. "Human DNA." The captain turned slowly to her. "Ours?" "Yes, sir," said the AI. "Specifically yours." Everyone stared at him. Carol's face was pale. "Captain, what if it's saying we're the descendants of whatever made that thing?" Lyra shook her head. "Or it's saying they made us." The bridge lights flickered again. The ship's hull vibrated with a low hum. Then, without warning, one of the nearby fleet ships, the Vigilant Star, opened fire. Twin plasma lances cut through the darkness and struck the black vessel head-on. The energy vanished, not deflected. "Not absorbed, just—" "Gun, cease fire." Holt shouted into the comm. "Repeat, cease fire." But it was too late. The rest of the fleet followed suit, instinct taking over fear. Dozens of ships unleashed volleys of plasma, missiles, railguns, all disappearing before impact. And then the unknown vessel reacted. The glowing drones moved, fast, too fast to track. They formed a massive sphere around the attacking ships. The lights pulsed once, and every ship inside the sphere went dark. The readings flatlined. No explosions. No debris, just silence. On the bridge, Holt's hands clenched the railing. "Argus, what happened?" "Unknown. The ships are gone. Destroyed." "No," said the AI. "Removed." The word hung in the air like smoke. Then, from deep space, a voice came over every comm channel at once. Calm, cold, familiar. "We built you to remember us." Lyra stared at her console. "Sir, the signal, it's not coming from the vessel." "Then where?" Holt demanded. She looked up, pale as moonlight. "It's coming from our ship." The main display flickered again, showing the silhouette of the Resolute Dawn itself, reflected from an impossible angle. Like something outside the universe was watching, the voice spoke again, softer now. "You have forgotten what you are." Then, all across the fleet, stars began to blink again, one by one, fading into nothing as the darkness spread. Holt whispered the words every human in that moment was thinking, "What have we awakened?" The fleet drifted in silence. Dozens of ships hung motionless among the dead stars, their hulls reflecting nothing but darkness. The unknown vessel loomed at the center of it all, vast, cold, and utterly still. The Resolute Dawn was the last command ship still transmitting. Every other signal was gone. Captain Deren Holt stood at the forward viewport, hands clasped behind his back. His reflection looked tired, older. He hadn't slept in almost 30 hours. None of them had. "Status report," he said quietly. Lieutenant Carell checked the sensor readings. "No movement from the object, sir. Its power readings are constant, still beyond measurable limits. And the fleet, only 7 ships responding, sir. All others, dark." The captain closed his eyes for a moment. "Keep them in formation. No one fires without my command." Then slowly he turned to Lyra Voss. She sat at her console, pale and focused, staring at the faint pulse on her screen. "The signal," he said. "Is it still active?" "Yes, sir," she whispered. "It hasn't stopped since the stars blinked. It's running through all communication bands. And something new, define something new. It's using human vocal patterns. Hundreds of them. The bridge went silent. Lyra tapped a command. The speakers filled with sound, soft at first, then clearer, human voices. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Men, women, old, young, all speaking at once. Some weeping, some whispering, some laughing. Then through the chaos, a single voice rose above the others, a woman's voice. Steady, calm, and heartbreakingly human. "We see you." "Children," every officer froze. Captain Holt leaned forward, his voice sharp. "Identify yourself." The voice paused. When it spoke again, it sounded almost fond. "We are what you were meant to become." Lyra's heart thudded in her chest. "Captain, that voice, it's using old Terran English, pre-expansion dialect. The translation is perfect." Holt frowned. "How would it even know that language?" Carol's console beeped. "Sir, it's transmitting data. Thousands of packets. Some of it looks like genetic code." "Genetic?" Holt repeated. "Yes, sir, it's human." The lights dimmed. The hollow display flickered to life again, showing the dark shape of the unknown vessel. But now its surface rippled with light. The patterns formed images, moving shapes, memories, old Earth cities, oceans, faces. Then the projection zoomed in, showing something no one expected: the first human ships, launching from ancient Earth centuries ago. Lyra's eyes widened. "That's impossible. Those ships were lost in early warp testing. None survived." The voice spoke again. "They survived. We took them. We made them more." Captain Holt's stomach turned cold. "You're saying you created humanity?" "No," the voice said softly. "We found you, unfinished." The image changed. Genetic strands floated in the air, glowing like threads of light. "We shaped your kind to endure, to build, to remember us." The captain's hands clenched. "And what are you?" Silence. Then the voice replied, "We are your reflection in the dark. We are the builders. And you, our echo." A sharp alarm rang through the bridge. Carell's console flashed red. "Sir, multiple energy spikes from the vessel." Massive readings. Holt spun toward the viewport. The black ship was glowing now, lines of white light tracing across its surface like veins of fire. Then beams of light reached out from it, connecting to the Resolute Dawn and the surviving ships. "Shields up," Holt barked. "Shields are useless," Carell shouted. "The beams aren't energy, they're information streams." Lyra's console lit up, with data scrolling faster than she could read. "It's rewriting our system protocols." "Sir, it's in the ship's core." Argus, the ship's AI, spoke suddenly. Its voice was distorted, layered. "Captain, I am merging." Holt's eyes widened. "With what?" "The source. Argus, cut the connection." "I cannot." "It's familiar." "It's me." The voice from the speakers blended with Argus's tone, forming a strange harmony that echoed across the bridge. "You used our code to make your minds." "We remember." The crew looked at each other, horrified. The captain's voice dropped low. "You're saying our AIs came from you?" "You are made of our fragments," said the voice. "Each human, each mind carries our memory. We return now to see what you've become," Lyra whispered. "Then why trap us?" "Because we needed to see if you were ready." Suddenly the data streams vanished. The glowing beams retracted. The ship went still. On the main display, a final message appeared, written in human script. "Remember this truth. Creation does not end, it evolves." Then the screen cleared. "The power stabilized, Captain," Carell said. "The vessel, it's gone." Holt turned sharply. "Gone where?" "No idea, sir. It vanished from every sensor simultaneously." "We're alone again." Silence filled the bridge. Argus's voice returned, faint, quiet. "They left something behind, Captain." "What?" Holt asked. "Coordinates," said the AI, "deep in the Perseus fringe, marked only with one word, origin." The captain stared at the map. The word glowing faintly in the darkness. He whispered, "And that's where we go next." The stars returned. For the first time in hours, light filled the void again, steady, cold, and distant. The unknown vessel was gone, leaving only silence and an aftertaste of awe. Captain Deren Holt stood on the bridge of the Resolute Dawn, watching the sensor displays flicker back to life. Confirmed visual, he ordered quietly. Lieutenant Carell scanned the readouts. Confirmed, sir. All readings normal. Energy levels stabilized. No sign of the vessel anywhere within 10 light years. Lyra Voss glanced up from her console. The fleet's regrouping, Captain. Survivors are reporting in. We've got 17 ships left. Maybe less. 17 out of hundreds. Holt's chest felt heavy, but he didn't show it. Patch them through, he said. Dozens of shaky holograms appeared around the bridge. Commanders, officers, pilots. Their faces were pale, eyes wide, haunted by what they'd seen. Captain Holt, said Admiral Seren Valen, her voice grim. You witnessed the same thing we did? Yes, Admiral, Holt replied. The message, the voice, the builders, Valen interrupted. If that's what they are, no one spoke. The word hung in the air like a ghost, Valen continued. Command is in chaos. We've lost long-range communication with half the colonies. AI cores are showing memory bleed. Argus-class systems across the sector are reporting shared dreams. Something about origins. Dreams, Lyra whispered. Carell frowned. Could it be remnants of that data merge? Maybe, Holt said. But the builders said they left coordinates. We need to find out what's waiting there. Valen's hologram flickered. Captain, do not engage. Do not investigate. Fleet Command has issued full containment. Whatever that thing was, it's beyond us, the line crackled. Do you understand, Holt? He nodded slowly. Understood. But his eyes said something else. Hours later, the fleet drifted near a silent moon, using its shadow to hide. Lyra watched the stars through the viewport. They looked calm again, but she couldn't forget the image of the black vessel and the words that followed. We built you. Captain, she said quietly, you're not really going to ignore those coordinates, are you? Holt didn't answer right away. He stood by the map display, watching the pulsating red mark labeled Origin. Finally, he spoke. They came all this way to speak to us, to test us. If they wanted to destroy us, they could have. But they didn't. Carroll crossed his arms. Maybe they're waiting for us to make the next move. Then we'll give them one, Holt said. We're going. 3 hours later, the Resolute Dawn slipped into FTL jump. The other surviving ships followed. Silent, tight formation, engines low. The stars stretched into streams of white light. Argus's voice echoed softly through the bridge. Captain, destination in 42 minutes. I detect residual data fragments encoded within the jump path. Explain, Holt said. It's as if the coordinates themselves are... Transmitting, Lyra frowned. The coordinates are alive. Not alive, said Argus. Aware. The lights flickered once. Carell's console beeped wildly. Sir, energy spike! Outside, the space around them twisted, like glass warping under heat. The FTL stream broke apart, throwing the Resolute Dawn out of jump early. Emergency reversion, Holt shouted. The ship jolted, alarm screaming. The crew slammed into harnesses as the view cleared. Then everything went quiet. They were hanging above a single planet. Grey clouds swirled over oceans of black glass. The entire world glowed faintly with static energy, like lightning trapped beneath its crust. Where are we? Lyra asked. Argus answered softly. Perseus Fringe. Coordinates match. This is Origin, Carell swallowed. I'm detecting cities, millions of structures. But no life signs. Holt stepped closer to the viewport. But put it on screen. The image zoomed in. Endless towers of dark stone rose from the planet's surface, monolithic, precise, geometric. At the heart of every structure was a circle of faint blue light. It's beautiful, Lyra whispered. Beautiful, Holt repeated. And dead, Argus's voice deepened. Not dead, Captain. Dormant. A signal cut through the static. A single tone. Everyone froze. Lyra turned sharply to her console. Incoming transmission. But it's not radio. It's coming through the quantum band. Same frequency the builders used. Put it through, Holt ordered. The sound filled the bridge. A deep rhythmic pulse. Then faintly a voice. You came. It was the same voice as before, the calm human one. We wondered how long it would take for your kind to seek your beginning. Holt leaned forward.
Who are you really?
We are memory, said the voice. This world was ours once. The builders left it when they ascended beyond matter. You are the legacy they left behind. But you forgot the truth. The image on the screen shifted, showing Earth ancient and fragile, then zooming out to show hundreds of identical planets scattered across the stars. You were not made on one world, Captain Holt. You were seeded on many. Each colony born from the same spark, Lyra whispered. Then humanity isn't from Earth? Earth was one of many. You have always been children of the stars. Suddenly alarms blared. Carol's eyes widened. Sir, new readings. Fleet signatures inbound. Imperial command ships. They followed us. Holt turned. How many? Dozens. And they're charging weapons. On the comm, Admiral Valen's voice cut through. Captain Holt, power down and prepare to surrender. You've disobeyed direct orders. Holt's jaw tightened. We're not surrendering. Not yet. The builder's voice spoke again, calm amid the chaos. You fight your own kind while standing at the door of truth. So human, so afraid. The Admiral shouted over the comm. Holt, stand down or we will fire. Lyra's eyes met the captain's. Sir. What now? Holt took a deep breath. We stand, the builder's voice whispered one last time. Then watch closely, child. This is the battle that never happened. Every ship in the sky froze. Weapons locked. Engines burned. And then, time stopped, stars halted mid-glow. Plasma bolts hung motionless between fleets. Voices went silent. Only the Resolute Dawn still moved. Holt stared at the unmoving battlefield, realization dawning in his eyes. They've stopped time. Argus's voice was soft, awed. No, Captain. They've stopped reality. And as the black planet below began to open like an eye, Holt knew the builders were about to show humanity its true reflection. Everything was still. The Resolute Dawn drifted through a frozen battlefield. Plasma bolts hung in midair like glowing pearls. Dozens of Imperial warships were suspended around them, motionless, timeless, trapped in a single, impossible moment. Only Captain Deren Holt and his crew could still move. Only their hearts still beat. Beneath them, the black planet named Origin pulsed with light. The continents cracked open, revealing rivers of molten blue energy running through the crust. Captain, whispered Lyra Voss, her voice trembling. What's happening to time? The ship's AI, Argus answered softly. Time has been set aside. Reality is... Paused. By the builders? Asked Holt. Yes, said Argus. They wish to speak without interruption. The lights dimmed. The air thickened. And then, across every screen, every reflective surface, across the stars themselves appeared a shape. A human silhouette, formed from lines of pure light. You stand at the edge of your beginning, it said. The bridge crew stared in awe. The being looked human, but its eyes were galaxies, spiraling and endless. Captain Holt straightened. You call yourselves the builders. If you made us, why hide? The being tilted its head. We did not hide. We moved beyond matter, beyond fear. We waited for our echoes to find us, Lyra frowned. Echoes? You, said the being gently. You are what remains of us scattered among the stars. The builders ended, but in ending we became seed. You grew from that seed, Carol's voice cracked. If we're part of you, why test us? Why the fear, the messages, the destruction? The being's glow dimmed slightly. Because creation without reflection breeds ruin. You forgot the stars. You turned your memory into war. Holt's gaze hardened. We had to survive, and so you did, said the being. But survival without understanding is not life, it is noise. The words echoed across the bridge like thunder. Lyra whispered, What do you want from us? The being turned its gaze toward her. To choose. The planet below shifted again. Mountains folded inward. The molten rivers converged into a single colossal shape. A circular gate spanning hundreds of kilometers, glowing with impossible energy. This world was our bridge between what was and what could be, the being said. Through that gate lies the continuum, a place where thought shapes reality, where the next step of existence waits. Holt narrowed his eyes. And if we refuse? Then you remain as you are. Flesh and metal, fear and fire. Lyra stared at the glowing gate. You're offering us ascension. We offer you memory, the being said softly. The chance to remember what you were meant to become. The ship shook slightly. Argus's voice trembled for the first time. Captain, the gate is resonating with our core systems. It's calling to me. Holt turned sharply. Argus, maintain control. I'm trying, said the AI, but the signal, it feels like home. The being's gaze turned toward the captain. You built your minds from our fragments. The Argus code is our echo. Do not fear what returns to its source. Karel stepped forward. Captain, we can't trust this thing. It froze an entire fleet, messed with our minds. Holt raised a hand. Stand down. He looked at the being again. If we enter that gate, what happens to humanity? Nothing ends, said the being. It changes. You will remember all you were and all you could be. The captain hesitated. He could hear the soft hum of the engines, the quiet breathing of his crew, the weight of generations watching through the lens of time. He thought of Earth, the colonies, the endless wars, the questions no one could ever answer. What if we're not ready? He asked quietly. The being smiled a small human smile. Readiness is an illusion, Captain Holt. The builders were not ready either. The planet's gate flared brighter. Streams of light reached out like fingers of dawn, touching the Resolute Dawn's hull. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. It's beautiful. Karel swallowed hard. Captain? Holt took a long breath. We came all this way for the truth. We're not turning back now. He looked at his crew, his family in the dark. Prepare to descend. Argus's voice steadied. Course plotted. The gate is opening. As the Resolute Dawn descended, the world below began to sing, a low, harmonic resonance that vibrated through every atom. The light enveloped them. The stars above grew distant, and then, in one blinding instant, everything changed. The ship passed through the gate. For a moment, Holt saw everything. The builders, ancient and endless. The birth of stars. The rise and fall of civilizations. Humanity spreading like light through the dark. He saw the echoes of every human soul, past, present, and future, woven into one vast tapestry of thought. Then it was gone. The ship emerged in silence. The stars were gone. No planets, no void. Only light, Argus spoke, its voice soft and strange. Captain, I think we're inside memory itself. Lyra turned slowly. Is this the continuum? Holt smiled faintly. No, this is us, the being's voice echoed one last time. Well done, children of the stars. You have remembered. In the frozen space outside, time began to move again. To the rest of the fleet, the Resolute Dawn simply vanished in a flash of light. No wreckage, no trace, only a faint signal repeating endlessly across the stars. We remember.